Hello, Seward United Methodist Church. I'm Reverend Mary K. Toddy, the lead pastor for the congregation, and once again, it's my delight to bring you this midweek devotion. I hope you are all doing well as we reach mid-September here. I know last Sunday we had the wonderful opportunity to hear Jeannie G. share with us about the United Methodist Women and the World Thank Offering. And this coming Sunday, we will be starting a new worship series based on grace. The title is Grace Abounds, and we will be looking at John Wesley's threefold way of understanding grace. John Wesley said that we can experience grace as prevenient grace, as justifying grace, and as sanctifying grace. Now that all sounds like big church words and maybe a little hard to understand, but I hope that through these sermons it will be easier to understand. The sermons for these 3 weeks are actually story sermons, stories I have written specifically to try to teach about prevenient, justifying, and sanctifying grace. Well, for that matter, grace itself is a difficult thing to understand. And I remember a few years ago, well, more than a few, it's been more than 10 years ago, I was having one of those long, rambling conversations with someone who did not identify with any particular faith tradition, would probably have described themselves as being spiritual but not religious. And the person looked at me and said, "So, what is grace? What do you mean by grace?" And what I realized is all of a sudden, without any of my theology books at hand, I had to put words to the concept of what grace was. So I took a breath and I thought for a moment, and what I said was, grace is unmerited mercy imbued with a genuine compassion for the other's well-being. Now, as I thought about it, I thought, now that really is a pretty good way of describing grace. And I can only credit God with helping me find the words in that moment to describe something that is so central to who we are and what we believe and how we experience God, so that grace is just one of those words we use a lot and assume everyone knows, but then to try to describe it. So let me read that again. Grace is unmerited mercy imbued with a genuine compassion for the other's well-being. So grace isn't anything we can earn, and grace is all about compassion and kindness and wishing, longing for the other one to flourish. And we are all recipients of God's grace. God's grace is always with us, always surrounds us, always longs for that which is best for us. Scripture is filled from Genesis to Revelations with examples of God's grace at work in people's lives. We see time and time again how God's people don't earn grace, but grace is there for them. And grace is boundless and never runs out. It's kind of like love. The more we love, the more love there is. Love just kind of keeps generating and creating more. So it is with grace. And when we experience grace, then we're invited to share grace with others, whether they've earned it or not. Unmerited. Grace is all about unmerited. And grace is all about compassion and well-being for ourselves and for others. So grace to you, my good people. Grace upon grace upon grace. Hope you have a good week. Hope to see you Sunday. We go back to 2 services, 8 a.m. and 10:30. Take care. Bye.